According to the CDCP, as many as 3.8 million sports and recreational related concussions happen in the U.S. every single year. There are many student athletes across the country who are uninformed on what a concussion is and what it can do to you in the future of your life. Today, I would like to break down what a concussion is and inform everyone how to diagnose symptoms and treat this in the future if they ever have one occur. I feel that due to my extensive research on the topic, I'm qualified to discuss and break down the things in this speech that are necessary. Let's begin by talking about what a concussion exactly is. A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that affects the way your brain functions, and the Mayo Clinic does a good job of explaining this and putting it into words as I just said. Falls are the most common form of a concussion. Most people usually recover from a concussion pretty easily. Again, the Mayo Clinic does a good job of explaining this and going into greater detail. Concussions can also occur from other instances, like where an object would strike you in the head, or where you fall, or anything like that in any other situation. Another way that concussions can occur is also by traumatic shaking of your head. This is more rare, but it's also still possible, so that's something to think about. Also, concussions can affect people of all ages and kinds of people. Concussions, though, are most commonly found within contact sports such as soccer and football, and these are the sports you would expect considering the risks are so high. Concussions, but they can also happen in car accidents and falls as well. This is where it kind of ties into not just athletes, all people can experience concussion. Like you can be going through everyday life. Concussions really just affect so many people, and I feel it's all part of our duty to inform everyone so if they do experience one, they can know how to report and diagnose and just treat it to the best of their abilities. Next, I'd like to move on to what concussion symptoms are and what problems can relate from these concussions. There are numerous symptoms that occur if you suffer a concussion that you need to look out for. Some of these symptoms include headaches, temporary loss of consciousness, confusion, memory loss, dizziness, your ears ringing, vomiting, nausea, speech slur, double vision, daze, many more things like that. Also double vision, but this also can all be found in the Mayo Clinic where they do a great job of explaining it. If any of these symptoms occur to you, you should immediately seek treatment from a doctor within the next 1 to 2 days, preferably as quick as possible because you need to be diagnosed from a medical professional. But they ultimately cannot diagnose you unless you experience these symptoms and are truthful and report them because they cannot know what you're experiencing unless you tell them. It's just ultimately up to the patients to do this as I explained. Patients should always report these injuries to their advisors because if not, as I'm going to explain later on, it could affect them traumatically in the future. This is just something that many people are unaware of, and we need to do our job to spread the word and inform everyone of this serious cause. For my last point, I would like to discuss the best ways to treat a concussion and some of the possible things that can happen if it is untreated. Concussions need to be treated with careful examination, and also it's just best necessary care for the patient when this is done. There's not much really to treating a concussion besides just rest and just natural healing of the body. This is something many people would not expect because when you have something happen to you, the way our brains, like the way we've been told to think is that like pills or drugs or something can just fix it. But the only way that you can really heal a concussion is with proper rest and just natural healing of the body. If you do not rest and get treated, though, you may suffer negative complications later on in life. And these are some of the things I was explaining earlier. These can include mental impairment, changes to your sensory input, abnormal brain impulses, fine motor skills are not applicable, speech issues, and also nerve damage, which these things may not seem like something that a kid would worry about, but later on in life, they could do things that would traumatically affect your everyday life, like such as not being able to talk, like with the speech, and these are things kids don't think about, so that's why I'm trying to do my part to inform them, so later on in life, they don't regret stupid decisions they made trying to just get back too early, because concussions are something that most people have heard of, but they really just don't understand like what injury can come from this. These things just really show like the long-term consequences that concussions can produce for you. It's really just traumatic and saddening to see great athletes suffer this from lack of information being told to them and stupidity. Honestly, that's why we all just really need to do our part to spread this information, because these injuries and concussions are something that are usually short-lived and the athletes can come back from. So it's just really sad to see this happen. Now I'd like to look back on the topics we've covered and refresh you all on the concussion information that has been presented today. In closing, there's a great portion of students across the country suffering from concussions, and we all need to know how to provide the proper care and also inform them on how to diagnose and report these so they can get back to doing what they love as quickly as possible in the safest way for them. I'm glad. I was really just happy to break this down, as big of an issue as it is. I feel I just had a good understanding, and I was honestly the man for the job. Students just really need to know how to treat this injury and diagnose it in the proper way. Concussions are a real issue in this country, in my opinion. I'm glad that you all listened to the presentation and information that was presented to you today. As Ty Newman stated, concussions can produce long-term consequences if it is not given the respect it deserves. And I feel this is very true, as in many other situations, injuries are taken lightly and it ends up biting you in the butt later on in life, and you look back with many regrets. Rest is vital for this, as I explained, and the lasting neural damage and brain damage can be insurmountable. I'm really just glad that you all listen to me, and we all just need to take care of our bodies and do what we can. Thank you for viewing this speech today.